Welcome to That's No Class. I'm Brian Baruman.
And I'm Morgan Darian.
Welcome back to the home of class, where we talk about the most interesting and funny things happening in the news and in our lives, try to figure out how to live classy, and call out no-class moves.
This week in news, Brian covers food delivery legal troubles. I bring the ultimate dad joke. We discuss dating apps and bank accounts. Brian brings me a debate. And as always, we end with our no-class picks.
I was hanging out with a friend of mine who listens to the show, and he said when he was hearing me talk about the chicken and dumplings at Cracker Barrel, he was like, that's a bad choice. Why are you ordering that? It's not going to be good. Sure enough, he was right. Even before he heard me describe it, he's like, I knew it. I knew it.
That was a while ago.
It was a while ago, but I told him it was so much worse seeing than hearing me tell the story, I'm telling you. All right, let's get to some news.
Now here's the news.
Okay, this week, LA County, our fair LA County, filed a lawsuit against Grubhub saying the company deceives consumers, takes advantage of restaurants, and exploits the drivers who work hard to provide a valued service. It says Grubhub hurts customers because they tack on a bunch of fees without telling them, and that violates California law. It also says the app claims customers can get free delivery, but then hides other fees and hidden drop-down menus, a little like the claims against Chick-fil-A in that lawsuit from a couple weeks ago. It hurts drivers because each order includes a driver benefits fee, and there's a law that exists here in California called Prop 22 that mandates companies like Grubhub provide health benefits for drivers. But the lawsuit says most of those drivers don't qualify for those health benefits.
That's what I was wondering.
So the customers are paying it, but that money isn't necessarily going to their driver on their order.
Sure.
And the language in the fee makes it seem like the drivers don't need tips either because they're getting this fee, so people are tipping the drivers less. And lastly, the lawsuit says that restaurants are being hurt because Grubhub charges restaurants if people want refunds. Because, of course, people are ordering through the app and not from the restaurant itself, so Grubhub is the one who deals with this refund.
What?
So if people want a refund, Grubhub says to the restaurant, all right, we're going to take all that money back because we just gave them the money that we were given back. We're taking all your money back, too. So the lawsuit says Grubhub doesn't check to see if the reason for the refund is legit. It just gives the money back to the customer, and it takes the money back from the restaurant.
I'm pretty sure the other apps don't do that.
Is that true? One restaurant owner says the refunding takebacks have cut into as much as a quarter of the money he was making from Grubhub orders, and there's no way for him to contest it or fight it or like anything. They're just like, nope, that's it, done. And I feel like you've told me that at your restaurant, there are like weird things that happen with this.
Well,
with the apps.
Yeah, well, I already know. I mean, the apps already charge a ton to the
restaurant itself, right?
But I thought if the customer says they want a refund, it came out of Grubhub or whatever the app is.
It does, but apparently Grubhub takes that money back from the restaurant too.
Damn, I swear it wasn't that for certain apps.
Maybe it's not certain apps. Maybe it's just this one. Maybe that's what the lawsuit is. I don't know.
That's so crazy.
But Grubhub has also been sued by the cities of Chicago and Washington, D.C. and was ordered to pay $3.5 million in settlement fees and $800,000 in civil penalties in D.C.
I wonder if it is just Grubhub then.
I wonder.
I do know that my bosses have to like contest things, and they like yell at the company. Yeah, they're like, nope, they ate that food.
There's a lot of interesting points and claims in this lawsuit, and I think that there is merit to figuring this stuff out legally because some people are getting screwed somewhere. We've kind of tried to figure it out, but it's still kind of a little Wild Westy. But here's what I don't get. Why do people order it if it costs so much? Are you deceived when the total shows up and you can clearly see it? My friend paid $22 the other night for a sundae and 2 little pies from McDonald's on one of these apps. But were they deceived? I don't know. Like, I feel like deceived.
Well, you're not deceived if it's.
You're just pissed that it's expensive. And I get that. But just don't use it because, yes, you're paying so much more money because you don't want to get in your car and drive 10 minutes, which I get. We get that.
Yeah.
You're watching The Office. You don't want to leave. I get it, but no. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit more about money and how people handle it in our next segment. But to the restaurant owners and the drivers, I don't like that they're getting screwed over potentially here. Got to get down to the bottom of that.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So what are you doing?
That sucks.
What do you got?
Okay, my main story is about one of America's most wanted and elusive men. This guy in 1969 stole over $200,000, which today would be over $1 million.
Yes.
He was working. I'm just saying it.
No,
you never know.
You're great.
You're not
That's
paying
good
attention.
context. I appreciate that.
All right. He was working at a bank and just kind of walked out with it and disappeared before anyone knew it was gone.
He was an employee at the bank?
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, so fast forward to 2023. He's an old-ish man. He has a family. He's on his deathbed, and he looks up at his family and goes, I don't want to take this to my grave. I don't want you to wonder about it if it comes up later. I'm one of America's most wanted men. And his daughter is like, okay, this is the best and most epic dad joke. Way to save one for your final breaths. And he's like, no, I'm serious. You can look it up. So she does. And then everything starts to make sense. Like, he pretended he wasn't interested in France when he had a chance to go on a school trip with her. He told her it was insane for someone to get a DNA family tree done. These pictures of this family in the 70s, I mean, they're so wholesome. He's so happy. He worked at as a used car salesman. He was a local golf pro, and he married his sweetheart in 1982. Why did he do it? He was inspired by the movie Thomas Crown Affair starring Steve McQueen, and he ended up moving near the place where it was filmed. His daughter doesn't think it was about the money. She thinks he just wanted to start over, and she started this podcast so people would know more about her dad than the true crime elements.
Okay.
I'm trying not to shit on other people's podcasts, but how many episodes would you need to be like, my dad was a stand-up guy, okay?
I mean, like 3?
I would say like
Most?
1.
20 minutes apiece. Listen, shit on other podcasts all day. I'm done. I listened to other podcasts this week. Nah. This is where it's at.
I've tried a bunch of them.
Stop wasting your time. Stop giving me hour and a half long celebrity boring interviews. Done with it. We're the best. Sorry.
I just don't like,
Sorry.
Whatever. Anyway, so that's the story. Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Okay, here's my question.
Yeah.
Yes, why did he do it? But what did he do with the money?
Okay.
Did they live like a kind of nicer life? Like $1 million is a lot of money back
Not
in
really.
the day.
I think so. It was spent before she was even born.
Okay.
He lived on he lived in Boston. It's this place called Beacon Street. It's like the place. It's the hoity-toity place, and he had like, I think probably one of those. What is it called when it's like it's brick and it goes upward? Brownstone.
Yeah.
No, that's not it, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's
anyway,
what they call it in New York. I don't know if they call that in
it's something
Boston.
like that. So it's like, yeah, he was living in kind of a really nice place for a little while. Yeah.
Living rich before
by
the
himself.
fam.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Just living it up
Cool.
for a little bit. Isn't that funny?
That is really funny.
So the detectives were like, okay, well, you don't owe us any money because
you're dead?
he's already dead.
He's gone.
He's gone. And
Yeah.
he's vented.
Well, good. Because you do worry about that. Like,
I know.
Is
like
just
the family
my
widow
dad
or
was
something?
the criminal. Are they going to come after me?
I would hope not.
Yeah. Let's hope not. Wink. Wink.
Just in case.
Look out for our future True Crime podcast.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I have one more. I have a tiny bit of news, a tiny one.
Okay.
It's a PSA, rather. Okay, a 10-year-old boy from the UK is fighting Apple right now because he's offended by the nerd emoji, and he's worried that if people have to get glasses, that they'll be scared they're going to look like rabbits or rats. So he's like, listen, people who wear glasses are cool. Here's an example of how you can change the emoji. Apple has not responded.
This poor kid.
At first, I wrote that as he's worried if kids have to get glasses, they'll be scared of looking like rabbits. And then I double-checked, and nope, he said people. So he's worried about adults, too. And that's very nice.
It's good that he's worried about everybody, not just people his age.
Exactly.
Good kid.
I know.
I like that emoji. Don't think they should do anything with it.
I like it, too, but
Rep proudly, always have.
keep that one and then make a cool glasses.
A cool glasses
person.
emoji?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Do you have personal news?
I do, and it's a weird one.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
I'm at work. This guy I never talked to comes up to me and says, hey, you got a call. And I say, okay, this is highly unusual. I don't get calls at work. I pick up the phone, and this guy goes, is this Brian Baruman? And I say, yeah. And he says, I'm a Baruman too.
Stop it.
And I say, who is this? And he says, oh, I just got hired at the company and I do this and this. And I saw your name and I was like, another Baruman. So I had to call you. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. It's a really rare name. And he says, we have to be family.
No.
And I say, yeah, I guess. So I say, what city is your family from? And he says, oh, and he says, this town in Mexico. And I say, yup, that's the town that my dad is from. So I'm like, yup, we're definitely related. This guy is a cousin in some kind of way or something.
No.
So we talk a little bit more, and it sure seems like we have shared roots, but it was like really funny to me because like immediately he starts talking to me like we're like, oh yeah.
You guys are
like,
friends
come
now.
over. And it's just, that's hilarious because that's how my people are.
Yeah.
Like, especially in Mexico. Like, I've told Morgan this before. My dad's town in Mexico is the town in the movie Coco. Like, exactly. It looks the same.
Up in each other's
Everyone's,
business.
you know, chatting it up. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody says hi. People are the same. If you're a distant member of the family, they give you a hug and they get all excited to talk to you. Like, oh, primo, which means cousin. Like, it's this thing. And then the next day, my friend sends me a picture from a farmer's market, and apparently there's a Baruman Farms that grows and sells produce.
Oh.
I had no idea. I had so many relatives in this country.
Yeah, maybe there's more of you.
Maybe there are. Weird. Anyway,
This
that's what
is
happened to me.
Really crazy
It's pretty
news.
crazy.
Did you save this and you didn't tell me, or you just remembered it?
No, I saved it.
Okay, I was
I
going to
saved the
say.
good stuff for the
I
show.
was going to say. I was like, this would be a hard one for me to not tell you.
Yeah, it's always hard. Resisting. But I did, and I'm glad I did.
That's amazing.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, my personal news is that I applied to 6 jobs yesterday, and now we wait.
And now we wait.
If anyone has any publishing hookups in New York, let a girl know, okay? Please and thank you.
I'll tell you what I told my mom. Don't get discouraged if 2 months go by and they don't call you because
Yeah.
that's just how the world is.
Yeah.
I had to wait 2 months for my first job out of college. So it's going to happen. It's great.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you.
That's it.
Okay. When we come back, we've got a discussion on money and relationships and then a debate on dogs. Thanks so much for being here. We love having you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I saw this story a few weeks ago and I thought it was interesting in the world of dating and relationships. There's a new app called Score. The
Okay.
big deal with it is that you have to have a minimum credit score of 675 to be able to join. That's considered a good to excellent credit score.
I'll score.
Yes, score. See, and then there's that little like double entendre. So I'm pretty ignorant of the dating app world. Never been on one, but I think that this kind of thing is rare for dating apps.
I think so.
Kind of making money the starting point for your dating pool. These are the people that you have access to.
The only other one I know of is like celebrity ones.
Yeah,
like
those
you have
like
to,
crazy
yeah.
weird ones.
I don't know.
Yeah, but my knee-jerk reaction to this was, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Like I would want that if I was looking to date absolute strangers that I knew nothing about. The one thing that I could be sure of is that they have a decent credit score. But I know that my thoughts are kind of wild and weird left on my own, so I wanted to have a discussion with Morgan about this because she sees things that I don't. So, friend, what do you think about this? Minimum credit score. I could not talk to you if I didn't have minimum credit score.
Well,
Vice versa, also. What is that? What do
here's
we think?
the thing about this, just
Okay.
in terms of us.
In terms of us.
I don't even know what my credit score is.
Yes.
I do not have a good one, I don't think, because I don't like credit cards.
Yes.
So even though I have no debt,
Yes.
I own property,
Yes.
I think my credit score is low.
Probably not a great credit score for you.
No, so you would not have
I would
met
not
me.
have access to you. I would not be able to approach
So
you
this is not like
in the room of the internet and say hello. This is true. This is a very
I
good
would have
point.
no hope.
Yeah. But
That's really funny.
what about for you?
I mean, I guess I can of course you can understand
Kinda
it
makes
just
sense,
because
right?
it's like, it's annoying to have to worry about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Worry
And-
about responsibility, I
Yes.
guess.
And it can take a while for those kinds of
Yeah.
talks. Like, I feel like you and I, we didn't really have that talk
No, we
in our
didn't.
relationship about, like, how much money do you really have? What's your
I
scenario?
wasn't worried because I was fine for myself. So I
Yes.
wasn't worried about you.
Yeah. You weren't. You should
I
have
was like, I
been.
got this.
I think you should
Don't
have
worry
been.
about it. You can live with me.
Exactly. But I don't know if that's good advice.
I don't know.
for other people to do. is like, yeah, if you got your ish taken care of, it's cool. You can bring any chaos in potentially, and you're going to ride out that storm. I don't know if that's like a good thing to like think, but I think that is how a lot of people think.
I guess you're right.
So
yeah.
the distinction I think here is that it's not an app about having income. It's credit score.
I do like that aspect a little more.
I do.
Because I know there are people who they have like deals with the people they get
Yes, they
married
do.
to.
They're like, you better make this.
Yeah, otherwise we're done.
Or I won't even date you if you don't have this.
Right. So this is just
Personally.
like, we're going to go through life together and be responsible, and I don't have to like be the only responsible one, which is really an annoying place to be at in a relationship, especially once you like really love someone and like you're at that point. So it's 100%. Nice. It's like, okay, you know ahead of time a little bit. I don't know.
Not that people can't tank their credit whenever they want at any time.
Of course.
And there's a lot of talk right now about like financial infidelity, meaning that people spend money that their partner doesn't know about and have secret things, sometimes have secret credit cards and do all this kind of stuff. And I think people are afraid of that. Understandably so.
Yeah.
It's kind of I feel like it's a rough gauge for responsibility.
They should probably include other things other than just the credit score.
I'm sure they do.
Or like options or whatever.
I'm sure they do.
Very strange.
Yeah. Is it strange?
I think it is.
You don't share your score with each other. It's just knowing that you're only allowed in if you have this. Because what is the benefit of credit? Being able to make large financial purchases later on in life. That's the only benefit. Cheaper cars, being able to buy a house. That's basically kind of it.
And I guess by saying that you're on that app instead of a different app, you're telling each other, hey, like, I'm looking for a serious relationship that could have a future.
Yes.
Because why would you go on there if you're just looking for a hookup? Why would you care about
matter? Why would that matter at all? Yeah.
So that's a little bit more of a little signal, I guess.
It is. The funny thing that you brought up at the beginning, though, is that, yes, indeed, you and I are not... You
would be looking good on there.
I would be looking really good, but when we got together, I was in such a weird place in life because I was making the most that I was, but she knew full well I'm ending this career, graduating college, and going back to the beginning of like the lowest of the low college graduate pay, and it's going to be like that for a couple years. So if you want to be with me, that's kind of the thing. But you were so great about it because you were like, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is your budget, and we're going to stick to it, and that's that. And that was the best.
True.
And you, I think, made me more disciplined about it than I had ever been by myself.
I feel like you're more disciplined than me now.
Yes.
You've like you took my tiny lesson and you ran.
You gave me a foundation for life.
That's awesome.
Most couples fight about money. This is known.
Yeah, that's a thing.
We don't really. But maybe the reason is because Morgan and I don't really share money like that.
I have thought about this because some of my coworkers found out that we don't have our money together even after we're married.
Were they scandalized?
And they were like, wait, tell us more. Like, seems insane to me.
What did they say?
They were just like, but how do you grocery shop? And I was like, we just get our own groceries.
Yeah.
And they just could not handle it.
It's the same as like when we were dating. We've always split everything, even when we were just dating.
Well, yeah, and that's true too. Every date, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think every date almost, except when you were really poor.
Yeah, Morgan treated me for like probably a year.
If our accounts were together, I would not be like going to Ross and Target all the time because I would feel too guilty. Be like, oh no, what if this is one of his dollars?
You would spend less money if our money was combined.
Definitely.
It's really funny to me.
But it's just mine. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just have $0. I don't know yet.
I mean, this is literally the things that I hear every single week. And I'm like, okay, all right. That's how you're managing it this week. Let us know your situation. If you guys, share money together, or if you keep your accounts separate, let us know. I think this is a super interesting topic, and people come up with their own solutions. With kids, without kids.
Right.
I think sharing pets is a really interesting thing that people do.
What do you mean?
Like, they break up and they still have pets together.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. Anyway, we're going to talk more about pets when we come back. It's been a while, but Morgan and I are going to have a good old-fashioned debate. And then, of course, it's your no-class picks. Stay with us. Welcome back. Part of what makes TNC so great is that Morgan and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, and we have our own strongly held opinions. But for the things we never see eye to eye on, the hills we each die on, there are the debates.
This is a fight. We are fighting.
The core of this debate actually goes back almost 2 years to our honeymoon in New York. I saw a lot of things on that trip, new things, interesting things, but one that I'll never forget. We're walking down the street in Queens. I remember exactly the street and exactly the intersection. And there's a man ahead of us walking a dog. He was way ahead of us, and he was walking really slow. Dog was keeping pace with him in its harness. But as he's waiting to cross the street, Morgan and I get up close, and I get a really good look at this dog. And I tell you guys, it was the perfect dog. So a lot of people think of me as a cat person because I do have a cat, grew up with cats, but that doesn't mean I don't like dogs. I really do like dogs. We just don't have one because it doesn't make sense for us right now. They need too much attention for what we have time for. But I love me a good dog. And this dog, it was a black lab. I think it was female because it had just a little daintiness to it. Perfect lab face, flawless smooth coat, not real athletic looking, a little soft. Kind of like a perfect, like barrel-shaped body, quality lab specimen. And I had the strongest feeling that I wanted this dog. I think I said to Morgan, I would offer to buy this dog from this guy.
Yeah, you did say that.
And Morgan says...
I don't know what I specifically
said. You said, what? That's the most reg dog I've ever seen. What are you talking about? That's what you said.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that you had taken notice.
Do you remember what the dog looked like?
Yes, very clearly.
Because it was quality.
That's one of the clearest visions of our entire honeymoon is this argument we got on about this dog.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is going to be a debate within a debate because I'm sorry, but there's no way in hell that you can tell from the back that it's a girl dog because they're dainty.
100% you can.
A girl dog is not dainty.
It's not a daintiness, but you can tell the gender of a dog.
Only if you can see their nipples or something.
No, that's not true.
1,000% is
true.
You are out of your mind.
True.
I can't even handle this.
I can tell.
How can you cannot?
Line up 20 dogs in front of me. I'll pick the females out from the males.
We're going to.
As long as they're not like Pomeranians or like those. If they're like medium-sized dogs, medium to larger-sized dogs, I can tell gender.
We're going to go to the pound.
I will play this game.
Oh my God. I can't. Okay, this is already like getting me way too angry because like this is insane.
This is how it was on the streets of Queens.
Okay.
Morgan was like pissed.
It's really hard for me to fight you on this in general because you're so off base that I'm not sure I can argue with you. Like the dog in New York was a nothing dog. I was astounded by the lack of excitement at being near it. Normally I'm thrilled to be near a dog. Almost any dog, if they're friendly. This was such a nothing dog. It wasn't ugly, so there was nothing of note. And it was nowhere near cute. It was the ghost of a cool dog. It was like the idea of a dog, but without all the awesome stuff that makes a dog so great.
It was like a low-key dog that was awesome.
No, it wasn't funny or cuddly or nice or big or small or have soft ears or anything.
It had soft ears. It was a lab. It was like a lab. It looked like any other lab that you've seen, except with these little touches that made it like the perfect little lab.
The perfect little lab? I don't even think it was a full lab. It was just a short-haired black thing with paws and a nothing tail.
No, it was a total lab. See, this is my thing. This is where I stand.
Okay,
I like the perfect version of whatever said thing is. So like our cat, Mala, I think she's the perfect cat. The most beautiful of her breed. Perfect face, perfect coloring, perfect coat, little soft. I know I have the perfect cat, and I appreciate it. So when I saw the perfect black lab, I was like, yo. I mean, perfect for my tastes.
I mean,
I like it a little soft.
But you didn't say that when we were there. You said that is the perfect dog. And I'm like, no, it's not.
It is.
For you.
I don't see what the problem with it was. Like your level of like hate and dismissal of this dog didn't make sense to me either.
I don't really like there's so many dogs in the world. I don't get the point of like having a dog in your space. You're choosing to live with this animal. Why would you choose one that's not like cuddly or funny or like beautiful
You don't know that dog. You don't know if it's cuddly. It definitely could have been cuddly because it was a little soft. That's why I like it soft.
No.
It's like my...
But the short-haired ones are not soft. They're like...
Labs are.
No, it wasn't a lab. It was mixed with something. The hair is too short. It's prickly.
Well,
And it's not soft. It just feels oily at that point. That's not cute.
it looked nice. Okay.
Okay, well, that buddy for sure had no skills and did not make up for it with personality.
See, you seem to like personality, and I think I like just like vibe.
That dog
I was
had no
down with that
vibe,
dog's
though.
vibe, and I like him a little chunky, a little soft.
You like him to look like an overweight man?
Just a little bit. It's like my coworker said. I like my dogs. What did she say?
Oh
I
my
like my
gosh.
men lean, and I like my dogs fat. Like, I feel I would truly love a really fat dog, but I feel guilty because it's not right because those dogs aren't healthy.
Yeah.
So I can't morally want a fat dog, but if there was some like miracle where the dog was healthy and fat at the same time, yes, I would want a fat dog.
Oh my God.
Like, for sure.
Did I ever tell you that my sister was a dog walker in New York when she was there?
I think you've told me like once.
She had this fat dog that did not want to
Didn't
walk
walk,
around the
yeah.
thing. So the dog would like lay down immediately upon exiting the building, and then she would have to give it a treat to like
get it
go.
to move.
She'd be like, "Come on,
See?
I'll have a treat."
I would like that, but it's not right.
That's insane.
It's not right.
Anyway,
I know that.
we're never going to agree on this.
Agree to disagree then.
Never agree to disagree, ever.
All right, when we come back, it's that time. Your No Class Picks of the Week. Stay with us. It's time to wind down the show here, bring it to a close the only proper way with our No Class Picks of the Week.
You're just a jealous,
No class.
lazy bum.
No class pick. All right, I have a no class pick from my personal archives. Okay, so my sister and I had a babysitter, and she had a few phrases and funny things and stories that were always on repeat. And because of her, I was sent to the office. Little Shy Morgan had an outburst in German class. And yes, I'm going to gloss over the fact that the two languages we learned in elementary school were French and German. I was convinced that my German teacher didn't like me anyway, but now looking back, I think I was a bit of an annoyance to her, and I'll never forget when she brought Nutella to class, and it was the most delicious day. But I'm not talking about Nutella Day. I'm talking about the day when my best friend, I'll call him JT, decided to make a list with our pal, and they did this in front of me. They started making a list of all the things that boys were better at than girls. And they started with sports and moved into school subjects like math. And then when they said English, I freaking lost my effing marbles. And I stood up in class and I repeated a phrase that my babysitter had said to me 1,000,000 times. I said, JT, the only thing that boys are better at than girls is peeing on a wall. And I'm not even sure about that because I haven't tried it yet. I added that last part because I wasn't sure if boys were actually better at it, and I didn't want to misspeak. And then my German teacher was like, Morgan, you can't yell in class. What is going on back here? And I repeated it. And that's the only day I ever seen a crack of a smile from this woman. So my no class pick is multi-layered. It's whoever raised these boys without telling them over and over and over again that the only thing boys can do better than girls is peeing on a wall. And it's this German teacher because, come on, man, you're going to send me to the office after I've been wronged so much and after I responded with such a flourish, in essence, telling that boy that my anger was wrong. No class, Frau Hansen. No class at all. Guten Tag, bitch.
Frau.
That's how you got it. You're going to be like, Frau. Guten Tag, Frau Hansen.
Everyone's
That's
a
how
Frau?
you say it.
Are you Frau Morgan?
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
No, I'm a Frau Darian, I think.
Oh, interesting. You got sent to the office, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Dang.
It was rude.
All right.
You would be a Herr. Guten Tag, Herr Berumen. And a German lesson.
German? Done. Okay. All right. So for mine, we've been having a bit of a rat problem in our building. And our next door
God.
neighbor says at a meeting, is there anything that we can do? Because I'm hearing the rats and the raccoons running on my roof every day.
Yeah.
And the head of our board says, okay, guys, we're calling out the exterminators, but you guys have to do your part too. You got to keep your trash sealed up, and please stop feeding the squirrels on your patios and going up to the roof to lead food for them up there. food for a squirrel is food for a rat.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to know who's doing this, by the way. It's one of our other neighbors.
Yeah.
And she says, well, I do leave them little treats, and it's terrible that they're bringing in exterminators. And so our neighbor who's complaining about the rats turns to her and says, you can't be leaving food out for them.
No.
And this woman literally scoffs at her and says, you can't tell me what to do. No class.
No class.
That woman doesn't care about anybody else, doesn't care
No.
about any of it.
I'm pretty sure she said, you can't tell me what to do. And then she said, I'm friends with the animals or something like that. Like, I like animals. And then our neighbor was like, I like animals too, but stop.
Yeah. Not
You're not allowed to do that.
not rats, but that's kind of how I feel.
What?
Going back to this whole dog thing, I like all the animals. I'm like, I just wish they weren't here necessarily. It doesn't mean I hate them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like a rat.
I like a rat too, just not up in my house.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right, yeah. So this woman, she's terrible and
Certainly no
surrounding
class.
us with rats, and she's no class.
Yeah, she's the reason.
She is the
They're
reason.
everywhere. I told you a rat was stuck in our elevator for like a week.
Yeah, I saw one down by the trash in a trap.
This is ridiculous.
Although squirrels aren't much better, I'll tell you what. This one fool eating all our patio furniture.
I know.
Just because he can.
I know.
It's not a beaver.
They're getting us ready for New York.
Yeah,
They're training us.
they are. Soon we'll just...
We'll just be like, hello, friend.
Hello.
We'll sing a song like
Welcome.
Cinderella.
All right, guys, that is our show. Thanks so much for being here and hanging with us. Like and or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. We're on all the apps. Episodes on YouTube. We appreciate you guys so much. Reach out to us everywhere. Instagram at That's No Class. A lot of people just like to DM us on Instagram. That's
Like
totally
it.
cool. We'll respond. We're there. We like
Yeah.
hearing it. You can also, though, send us an email or a voicemail. That's noclass@gmail.com. Call 877-7-NO-CLASS, or as Morgan likes to say, 877-766-2527. Call us up. We love having your stories on the show.
Stay classy.
Stay classy and have a great week.